Hi everyone, Fritz here, and in this video we're going to be installing both charge pipes and the intercooler from VRSF into the 2015 BMW M235i. Now, why would you want to do this mod? It's because BMW used a plastic charge pipe, but also plastic flanges on the ends of the intercooler. So that's why you would replace it with a full metal intercooler. And while you're there, you might as well replace the boost pipe, which goes from the turbo to the intercooler. And as for why I chose VRSF, it's not only because they make quality parts like what we have here today, but they also give you a lifetime warranty, which speaks to their confidence in the workmanship of their products. That's why I went with them. And as a financial consultant, it doesn't hurt that their parts are very, very reasonably priced. And the first thing that we need to do is jack up the car. You will need the car up pretty high for this one because you have to drop the whole intercooler. So get it to a good height, slide in your jack stands, and then slowly release the jack. Now the first thing that we need to do is pop off the C-clamp as well as the map sensor. So to do that, you can just use a small flathead screwdriver like this, get underneath, and just lift up. Now all you have to do is just get underneath the sensor here and pop it off. For the C-clamp, you're just gonna go ahead and wiggle it out. Just like that. You're gonna reuse this actually, so don't be too rough with it. Now for underneath the car, we're gonna go ahead and unscrew all the 8mm nuts. And to do this, make sure that you're wearing proper eye protection so that no dirt gets in your eyes. Out the belly pan. Now to disconnect the charge pipe, just get a screwdriver in there, and you can see the little overarching piece of metal right there. You're gonna have to push forward and up in order to get the clip out. Now the boost pipe from the turbo to the intercooler is the same thing. We have to pry it forward and up, just like that. From here we can start loosening the intercooler, unscrewing the torque screws. Same thing on the other side. Now this hose here can get in the way, so all you have to do really is just lift up on the locking mechanism there. It'll detach. And then just push it to the back a little bit so it's out of the way. Now you see this little flap right here that I'm pushing on? This is kind of like what's holding in the intercooler on the side, so you have to push it out on the side on both sides and then slide it back and down. That's our intercooler. Now from here, just go ahead and push the charge pipe down. Slide on out after you twist it around enough times, let's say. Okay, and just know that there is this rubber grommet part that locks it into place, but I found that it's very, very easy, rather than from the top of the car, to just stick your hand up here. You'll see the hole and just push it out. And while you have your original charge pipe out, it's a great idea and a great time to check how much blow by you have, if you have any oil that's getting into the cylinder head itself. So take the original charge pipe, look into the section that feeds directly into the throttle body, use a light if you have to, and look to see if there's any oil in there. And as you can see from my charge pipe, even if I wipe finger in there, there's nothing. There's just a little bit of dirt. And that's exactly what you want. On the other hand, if you do have a lot of oil in your charge pipe, you may want to clean the intake valves by walnut blasting or use a valve cleaner. And I'll leave a link for that down below. But another modification that you might want to consider if you do have a lot of oil there is installing an oil catch can to reduce the oil that goes on the intake valves. Now the boost pipe is gonna have that same C-clamp It's really hard to get in here, but you're just gonna have to pop it off and then pull it out. It's a lot easier than the charge pipe itself. Now the good thing about this boost pipe is that if this clamp, which you're trying to unhook, isn't in the right position, you can turn it in order to get it out. I'm not gonna do any methanol injection, so I'm just gonna use some thread locker and hold these screws in place. That way we don't have any boost leaks. For the top portion of the charge pipe, I have a cap. For those of you who have an automatic transmission, this is just gonna be a tube. Just plug it in, and then you just tighten it up here. And that is not going anywhere. Now what we need to do is just lube up our O-ring. You can just reuse your old O-rings, making sure that it fits right in the grooves. Go ahead and do the same thing for the bottom charge pipe. And then you'll just disconnect the black plastic from the charge pipe in order to take out the C-clamp, and you'll just go ahead and put that on the new charge pipe. Make sure to line it up in the grooves of the new charge pipe. Line it in with the pointy end pointing towards the pipe. When you have it in the grooves, it'll actually line up perfectly. So just make sure everything's in. It'll snap into place. Now for the top portion of the charge pipe, you should have the VRSF logo right there. Just slide the top of the clamp onto the logo. Just like that. Now for the boost pipe, you're gonna have to take off the C-clamps again. Just go ahead, pop off the black plastic pieces, take off the C-clamps and put it onto the new boost pipe. And they are sized accordingly, so make sure that the bigger clamp goes on to the metal coupler. And don't forget to take out and put on your gaskets. Line it up into your grooves. We have to take out our map sensor and put it onto our new charge pipe. While we have it out, we might as well just clean it. So for very sensitive parts like this, you're gonna wanna use mass airflow sensor cleaner. Just go ahead, shake it up. Should be good enough. Let it dry a little bit, and then we'll put it back in. Use the included hardware in order to secure it in place, because these bolts are meant to match the thread on the new charge pipe. Now that we're all done with that, we can go ahead and start installing the new charge pipe and intercooler. When you're putting in the hose clamp, put it in such a way that the nut that you're using to secure it is facing in a direction in which that if you ever need to take this off, you have easy access to it. Put in the top portion of the charge pipe. Just keep wiggling it in until it slides into place. Put back in your sensor. For the boost pipe, connect the coupler with our hose clamps and put on the coupler. And just tighten down the hose clamps, but you don't have to make it extremely tight. Just enough that when you have to make the final adjustments, you have enough room, but not so that you have to do all of this in a very, very confined space. It's a little hard to get in. I'm just making sure that it's sealed, but just use the C-clamps to get it in, and then have the nuts that lock in the silicone hose in place pointing downward here. Now for the lower charge pipe, just follow that same flow that you had earlier and try to link it with the silicone hosing for the top charge pipe, just so that it holds itself in place. So you already know that we replaced this plastic charge pipe with an obvious metal one, but another big reason why we're switching out the intercooler, not only is it because it's already there, but you see all this plastic parts here, here, here. The hosing, or where the hose inserts there and here, are also plastic. So if you add extra boost, it could crack. So we're replacing it with an all metal one. And yes, we're already here, so might as well, right? It's plug and play. So just go ahead and reinsert. Even though it's bigger, it'll fit just the same. With the intercooler in, just go ahead and slide it all the way up. VRSF is actually kind enough to supply us with hardware that will replace the torque screws that held in the original intercooler. So the way that this works is the plastic portion where we're gonna screw into will be up here. We place in this rubber washer, the intercooler, and then the screw to hold it in place. is just connect the charge pipe and the boost pipe to the intercooler. The lower charge pipe in place. When it comes to securing the boost pipe in place, we want to make sure that the silicone hose is all the way onto the metal coupler. Secure it in place like this, easy access. And as you can see, the rear hose clamp is also very easily accessible. Now don't forget to secure the hose back into place, and then the other side as well. Now all that the heavy lifting is done, all that we have to do is secure in the silicone hoses with the hose clamps by using a 10mm wrench. And just as a tip, if we're looking at the top of the charge pipe when we connect it to the coupler, which joins the two portions of the charge pipe, make sure to run your hand all the way around the silicone tubing on both portions of the charge pipe. Make sure that you're covering enough of the charge pipe in each portion of the silicone coupler, because this is actually where I got a boost leak. It may not look exactly like it does on VRSF's website. They may have done a redesign, but it does fit. You just have to get the coupler in precisely and then lock in the hose clamps. Now that everything has been tightened up, let's go ahead and put in the underbelly pan. And that's pretty much it. And just like that, your charge pipe, boost pipe, and intercooler are all installed. If you're looking for the VRSF products that I use, it'll be in the description down below, as well as the tools that I use. It's definitely a worthwhile modification that you should do to your car, especially if you have those plastic pieces in. You would rather have the car down when you decide that it goes down, rather than the part breaks on you and you're stuck in the middle of the road, or you're on the way to a middle of an appointment. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe down below. It really helps out the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.